Glazed Cinnamon Bun Cookies. Ooh, good.
Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for yoyomax12.
Hello everyone. Starting off with the cookies. That is a cup of butter, room temperature, 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and about 1.5 teaspoons of grated orange zest, and an egg. And blend those things together until nice and creamy. And then you're going to gradually add in 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour and continue to blend until you get a nice, stiff, and smooth dough. Put a piece of parchment paper or wax paper on your countertop. Put your dough on top. I just kind of flattened it out a little bit with my hands first. Added a second sheet of parchment on top. And then rolled it out until I had a rough rectangle shape that was about 16 inches by 16 inches roughly. Something like that. Then I kind of neatened the edges out a little bit just so that they were on the parchment and they weren't hanging off. And then you're going to set this aside because we're going to make the filling now. The filling, and I forgot to start the camera here, so some of the stuff's already in the bowl. That is 5 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of unsalted butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Then I added to that half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Adding to that as well, 1.5 teaspoons of light corn syrup. Then blend this with an electric mixer or by hand until you get something that's nice and smooth. And try not to eat this out of the bowl with a spoon. Seriously, this is good stuff. Put it on top of your rolled out cookie dough. Spread it with a spatula almost right up to the edge in an even layer. And then you're going to roll this up. Now roll it up using the paper because it's going to be hard to roll because that dough is kind of sticky. So as you can see, I'm rolling this up jelly roll style using the paper as a helper so that my fingers weren't sticking, and just continue to roll it all the way up. Roll it as tightly as you can, as evenly as you can, and as you can see, I'm kind of straightening it and kind of patting the ends to make sure that it's even. And then once you're done that, you're going to roll it up in that parchment paper and you're going to put it in the freezer and let it freeze for about an hour, just so that it's going to be easier to slice. Once it's frozen and very, very firm, take a sharp knife and cut it in 1/4 inch slices. Place these on a greased cookie sheet or one covered with a silicone mat. Bake at 350 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes until the edges are light brown. Then you're going to take the cookies and allow them to cool on a wire rack. While your cookies are cooling, you can make the glaze for this, and don't leave this part out because it's so good. The glaze is half a cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup, a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and a teaspoon of water. And I also added 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Stir that together. Now, if it's too thick, you might have to add a little bit of water. Add it about 1/4 teaspoon at a time until you get this kind of consistency. I took a pastry brush and then brushed this on top of the cooled cookies. Make sure your cookies are cold because you don't want them falling apart. I put a little bit of glaze on each cookie, and there was enough glaze to cover all of the cookies with a thin layer. And then you're going to let these just sit, and that glaze is going to dry completely so that you can stack these cookies in a container afterwards and they won't stick together. The glaze will get quite dry to the touch. And there they are. These taste like cinnamon buns, but they are cookies. These are really good. They look really, really cute too, don't they? This is one I'm probably going to add to my Christmas cookie list, actually. These are delicious. I hope you try them. Now, another similar cookie that I also enjoyed quite a bit were these maple cinnamon waffle cookies. If you want to see this, check it out by clicking on your screen. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.